the Pentagon by Fritz Kramer,
all
Gale
happening.
and CIA,
And these were all Nazis that came to the
Mengele
United States.
through the rat line,
Exactly.
brought by the Vatican's rat line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's Ratzinger.
Exactly.
Zinger?
Exactly.
Well, you know that they can actually, Lenny, they can fabricate DNA. Did you know that? That's what the scientists show. You can take fabricated blood and saliva samples containing DNA from a person, other than the donor of the blood and saliva, and you can access to a DNA profile in a database. They could construct a sample of DNA to match that profile without obtaining any tissue from that person. So they can make fake DNA.
Well, not only can
Wow.
and we know not only that.
So you could be totally innocent and they can make you guilty. It's like that Minority Report thing. You're guilty. You're just guilty. They can make you guilty.
Yes, and
You know the Tom Cruise movie, Minority Report?
yes.
They choose who is going to be guilty.
Now, there's a great quote here on page 619 of Vatican Assassins by William Casey, who was
I remember
director of
William
the CIA
Casey.
and a Knight of
Yeah.
Malta. In 85, listen to this. This has to
What
do
does
with...
he say?
He says, Baby Doc,
Oh, yeah.
Haiti,
Bad boy.
in his tireless devotion to saving the demonically possessed, cannot bear the burden of watching his people die the wretched death unleashed upon those doomed for hell. We are left with no alternative but to heed the word of God, the Pope, and spare him from annihilation. For this reason, we will send in missionaries, Jesuit missionaries, to inoculate the population with a vaccine that will spare only the good of heart by virtue of its design.
Oh, and
Baby
how did they
Doc
decide
has
that?
complied with the Vatican's orders to the best of his abilities in his demon-infested land and must resign his post.
So he wasn't really that bad.
Quote, unquote.
Baby Doc. They made him look like he was a really bad guy.
Well, I don't think he was
I mean,
a
he couldn't
good
have
guy
been
at
really
all.
good either. I mean, didn't he go to France? He took off to France and took all the money. Now, you know, we talk about Haiti. There's a symbolism there. You know, you talk about Cite Soleil. What's the Cite Soleil in Haiti? It's Sun City.
Oh, really?
It's Sun City.
Oh, I didn't
So
realize that.
in July 6, 2007,
Yes,
at the same time that London
yes,
was given the bid for the 2012 Olympics,
yes.
there was a pre-dawn raid on Cite Soleil, which is Sun City, in Haiti. Remember, we talked about Port-au-Prince, Au-Power, Au-Air.
Yes.
Okay, that's Port-au-Prince. They also have a huge monument there. It's a pyramid with an Olympic flame. So you know what? What
What?
happened there, that pre-dawn raid, very symbolic, wasn't it? It was a massacre. They were supposedly the UN troops were after gangsters, but they went and they indiscriminately murdered children and men and women that were asleep. They just murdered and massacred people. And those were UN troops.
Yes.
So
Well-
there's a lot of symbolism there, I find, with Haiti, you know, with the harpquake and stuff that's going on.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see now. They say that there's a lot more happening in Haiti than meets the eye.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's one story right there. And I think when that raid happened, also that was the bombing, I believe. Isn't that when they had the bombing in London, the train bombings? So the two things coincided. I believe so. I mean, I could be wrong on that, but I think that the two things coincided.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I believe so. I mean, I could be totally off, but
Yeah.
that somehow that just came to my mind. I don't know.
Well, I think that what we're going to watch for, of course, is we have the Olympics coming up, and there's a lot of evidence to show that the Olympics may be used as a false flag.
You mean the Vancouver?
The Vancouver
Yeah.
Olympics. There's the things are heating up in Iran.
Yeah,
In
they are.
Iran.
In Iran?
Things are heating up in Iran, and we know that the papacy has sold all its assets out of Detroit.
Yes,
So Detroit
yes.
may be a target.
It could be. I mean,
and,
that city is just
and,
decrepit right now. I mean, it's falling apart.
Eric Phelps at VaticanAssassins.org is pointing to that there says that there perhaps may be a assassination attempt on Obama's double.
Well, that
So
yeah.
that they will switch
I mean, that's
to a
possible.
double, and
Yeah.
he'll go off into the sunset and probably has a spot near Paraguay, near Bush's
You think he's
ranch.
going to go to a ranch?
I think he'll go to a ranch.
You mean he could?
I ranch.
I ranch in not
Iran
Iran.
and a ranch.
I ranch.
Yeah.
Well, we were talking about the caldera, and it was
Yes.
funny because I just said, what about that caldera?
Tell us about all the earthquakes. What's
Well, it's the
happening there?
Yellowstone's plumbing reveals plume of hot and molten rock. You know how deep it is, Lenny?
I think it was last I heard 400 miles.
410 miles deep. Now, can you imagine if that supervolcano has a big plume of hot and molten rock that explodes? We'd have like 8 feet of ash all over the place.
Yes.
The sun would be blocked out, wouldn't it? It would destroy all the land in that vicinity, and it would
Well, as
really
I understand
affect
it would
all
affect
of
the
the
entire
weather.
North America, if
Exactly.
not the world.
The whole world climate would be affected by that, and
Yep.
they have had several thousand earthquakes,
Yeah, a lot of earthquakes
rumblings
going on.
under that caldera, and that's in Yellowstone. I think it's in Wyoming. There's 4 different states that it borders, and I mean, so there you go. There's the possible caldera eruption right there, and that would be a natural, unnatural. I mean, you could throw one of those nuke bombs in there
Now, it's
and get it going.
trying to get a third party going in the United States is just going to be a waste of time. They're talking about a tea party. They're having, an event, a tea party event in the United States. Well, the 14th Amendment, America, it doesn't matter how many parties you have. The only way you're going to bring back freedom and democracy in America is to have a complete sweep clean and undo the coup of November 22nd, 63.
Do you think that's
and
possible?
that's not going to happen.
I can't.
First of all, you are not when you're under a divine curse. It doesn't matter what you do, except for start keeping the Sabbath and stop worshiping idols.
So there are 2 things.
Two
Don't
reasons
worship
why
those idols.
why ancient America and
Exactly.
ancient Britain and ancient France went into captivity and lost their identity and don't know who they are to this day, and that is because of Sabbath breaking and idolatry.
So what happened was the tribes split into 2 kingdoms. You had the southern kingdom called Judah,
Right?
consisting
The
of
House
the
of Judah.
tribes, of Judah, Benjamin, and most of the Levites.
All
The
of them.
remaining 10 tribes formed the northern kingdom called Israel. Where did Israel go, Lenny?
They
Do you
went
remember?
to the Caspian Sea area
They
when they were taken
did.
by the Assyrians, who are the modern-day Germans.
The rod.
Yes.
And that's where Israel
El
went.
Shaddai used
Okay.
the modern day used the Assyrians to discipline his people, and he's going to use the modern day Assyrians once again,
And
and
that-
that's what's happening today.
You
And
can look that up in 2 Kings 17. That tells you all about this little story that we're
Exactly.
talking about.
it's all there.
Happened. Judah
yeah.
and Israel.
Exactly.
Now, we've got Ephraim and Manasseh.
And they used the Hofjuden, the Vatican and
Yep.
the papacy used the Hofjuden as beards. And that's something we're going to talk more and more about. We're going to start identifying over the next weeks and months the beards. Who are the Vatican beards? Kissinger's,
And what about Brzezinski?
Pearls,
What is he?
David
What's Brzezinski?
or David Frum's, etc.
Frums, and they're all very, very bad boys.
Yeah, they're traitors. They're Hofjuden.
Yeah. I mean, what were they thinking?
Yeah, they weren't doing much thinking.
No.
So it's going to be interesting to see. Obama's got is trying to, on one hand, save his presidency, but on the other hand, he's trying to take down the United States. The system is in trouble. The
It's all about
market's
spending,
dropped a lot
isn't it?
today.
Spend,
and
spend.
They've got to
Yeah.
start a war to save the system.
It's the only way they can do
So
it.
where are they going to get a war going? They've got to try, I don't know, maybe somewhere. First of all, these people are masters at starting wars and blaming it on false flag people, right?
Horribly. I mean, they've done this